Oh, you better be nice. You better be nice to me. I'm gonna warn you about the scammers on there, so a little bit of story time. I'm gonna tell you all the avenues that I marketed them and which one worked the best for me. I don't know if I would do it again, and I don't think that I will, but that just goes to show you that people, you know, are not always serious and they just want to play games, block, like spam. I reported the account and everything. Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to sit down and do a video about my experience selling my puppies. My dog Nala, she recently had a litter of 5 puppies. You know, I had to go through the whole process of taking care of them, marketing them, trying to sell them, and I just figured I would sit down and do a video in case people may be interested in doing something like this. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not an expert breeder in any way, shape, or form. I just did this to like kind of experience it. I knew that I'm good with animals and I work from home, so I had the time to take care of them. And yeah, so I'm not looking for advice. If you want to leave advice, that's fine, but I'm more so just sharing my experience for other people. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, to start off, I have 2 pit bulls. I have Nala, she is American Pit Bull Terrier, and I also have Dre, and he is American Staffordshire Terrier. One day I noticed that Nala had started her cycle. Me and my husband got to talking about it. We were like, should we breed them together, because they would have some really cute puppies, and I was kind of on the fence about it. One day, without thinking, I forgot that, you know, she's on her cycle and they can't, like, the 2 dogs can't be together unless you're trying to mate them. So I'm so used to just letting them out together, and they had got stuck together. And after they got stuck the first time, we were like, well, I guess that's a sign. I guess we should just go ahead and just let this thing ride out. It's actually kind of very gross when dogs get stuck together. They like, it gets stuck in there, and then they turn like butt to butt, and then they're just stuck there for a while until they're able to get loose. But we just let them get loose on their own, because I ain't dealing with all that. I kind of like knew she was pregnant because like her nipples got really big, and you know, of course over time she got bigger and bigger. But the kicker with this is we had planned to go on a cruise before this. This sounds so terrible. Once I realized, I looked up how long dogs stay pregnant, and it's only like 3 months. And tell me why the date that we were supposed to leave was around the date of her due date. So I was like freaking out, because I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be here when they're born. Of course we had a family member watching them, but I didn't want to leave that burden on them. So I was just praying and hoping, because I didn't want to cancel my cruise. I already had paid for it, so I was like, dang, okay. And thankfully she did give birth like a few days before we had to leave. It made us all feel better, because that's what we were, you know, worried about. I suggest watching YouTube videos on how to properly give birth and how to be prepared for all the different scenarios that could happen. You may have to help cut the umbilical cord on the puppy. You may have to, you know, assist the mother and all that stuff. So I was fully prepared to do that. But one day around the time of her due date, when it was time to give birth, she was you know, acting, she didn't want anyone to really touch her. Like, she wasn't aggressive or anything, but you could just tell she wasn't in a good mood. So I was like, okay, let me leave her alone. And we pretty much stayed with her, but we were going to a family member's house to watch a boxing fight. So we went to that, and by the time we came home, the puppies were there. Like, she did it all by herself. It was just a little bit of blood. She cleaned everything up, because, you know, puppies eat all that stuff and it's actually good for them. She didn't seem like she wanted my help. Like, when she was in labor, she was kind of like, don't touch me. Like, I just want to be in my area and you just leave me alone. So I don't really know how much I would have been able to help her because she really didn't want to be touched. So I was happy she took care of that by herself. So the puppies were born on May 28th of this year. They were so pretty. Like, they came out with like these beautiful markings on them, and it was very, very unique. But what I highly, highly, highly recommend is don't start marketing your puppies as soon as they're born. In my instance, they came out with these beautiful markings on them. Once they got older, those markings went away. So it was just something that was there when they were born, but as they grew up a little bit the next couple weeks, it was gone. So I would have been like false advertising them at first, and you really don't know what they look like. They're not that cute when they're that small anyway. So kind of, I would suggest waiting a few weeks to take pictures of them to start marketing them. When they were born to about 4 weeks old, the mom, she pretty much did everything. Only thing I had to do was make sure the crate was clean, make sure their area was disinfected and everything. I didn't really handle the puppies too much when they were really, really small. I could, but I didn't really handle them. I let Nala do most of the work, and she did everything. She fed them. When they used the bathroom, she would eat it. Like, I know that's gross, but she did that. All I had to do was, you know, make sure that she was good. I was more so like, okay, make sure she has tons of water so she can produce milk. Make sure she has time away from the puppies, because, you know, you don't want them to be separated for too long, but the mom also needs a break. Like, she's just getting, imagine, like, you know, if you're a mom, like, you're with the baby majority of the time, but sometimes you just need a mental break and they have to go to the dad for a second, or a family member. So yeah, so in this case, I made sure she was good. I was more so taking care of her. I'm like, oh, this is not hard at all. Like this is pretty easy. Like, I could do this again. I spoke too soon, because when 4 weeks hit, this is the point where, you know, you kind of have to start doing work. So at this point, this is when I started taking their photos, because you could really kind of see what they look like. Alright, you guys, here are all the little puppies in here. I just took them away from their mom for a little bit so I can take their pictures, and then I'm gonna put them right back. But they are so cute. You hear them growling?
They're all so beautiful, aren't they?
Little feisty things. Oh, who are you growling at, each other or me?
Me.
Go first, you cutie. So this one is one of the blue ones, but it's also like it's also the lightest blue. It has definitely some tan in there. Are you growling at me? Are you growling at me, bad puppy? Are you growling? Oh, you better be nice. You better be nice to me. Oh, good job. It's so cute. Girl number 1.
Hello.
This is the runt of the litter. This is the one that I was saying is the only tan one. It's definitely the smallest.
It's so cute.
It is so cute. It's so cute.
I just kiss it.
Okay, this is the next boy right here.
Aww.
He's also blue. Okay, be gentle. Okay, they all have pretty blue eyes. Number 4.
Yeah. He also picked red.
I know. I'm so sweet. Look how cute he is in his red collar. So cute. Good job. Okay, you go back in here.
Now for the other.
Boy number 1. We only have 1 girl, 4 boys, and now it's time to start taking their photos. They each had a colored collar, and I named them like girl 1, boy 2, boy 3, boy 4. Makes it easier for people to identify them, let me know which one they're interested in. You know, around this time, they're starting to walk, they're starting to play and all this stuff, and at this point is the time to start introducing food. The mother, Nala, was still nursing, but it's time to like make some puppy mush. This whole process is trying to wean them off of the mother's milk and start really eating real food. Starting out, it's kind of hard to get them introduced to it. They kind of just want to eat the mother's milk, and they're not used to eating real food. So you kind of gotta, put their paws in it, put their face in it. It kind of seems mean, but you gotta do that so they get like a taste of it. And then after that, slowly but surely, they'll start to, eat it more and more. So I introduced it twice a day to them. They didn't always eat it, but what was left over, I would give to the mom for more nutrients for her. And then around week 5 is when they really, really started to enjoy eating the puppy formula, eating the puppy mush. So I increased that to 3 times a day. I would give them that mush, and I'll have a link down below of the bowl I used. It was really nice because it was a circle bowl, so they each had a little space to eat around it. But at this point is when it really started to be a lot of a hassle, because once they're eating that puppy mush, they start to poop more. They make a mess. Like, that causes a huge mess. So you want to have something down for easier cleanup. I was feeding them 3 times a day. Then you have to disinfect the crate twice a day at least, because they're pooping in the crate. The mom is eating it, but you still got to disinfect it. So it was just a lot of work. And then also making sure that the mom is good, she has space away from them, and she's getting enough nutrients and enough water and stuff. That's when it really got hard, and it doesn't seem like it's that hard, but it's very time consuming. Like, imagine you having to stop 3 times out the day to feed them, but not only feed them, they poop everywhere, and you have to clean that up each time, and then you have to disinfect the crate, disinfect the area where they're eating their food, taking care of the mom, making sure the dad, I still have Dre, have to take care of him. It's just a lot of work that I'm going to tell you all the avenues that I marketed them and which one worked the best for me. I marketed them on all my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Craigslist, like Facebook groups, and just word of mouth. Facebook was good. Like, my Facebook page, my family members would repost it, so that was really nice because it got, to different people. Facebook groups, they have groups for, I was selling pit bull puppies, so there's pit bull groups, like DMV pit bull groups that you can join. Those, I thought initially that was gonna be like my best bet, to be honest. It's a bunch of people on there that's already trying to sell their dogs, and then they're just commenting on your posts trying to sell their dogs when you're trying to sell your dogs. I'm like, go make your own post, sir. Like, don't be commenting on my stuff. And then the people who do respond, they were kind of like cheap. They didn't want to pay the price, or they never responded back once you told them the price, or they were spam. I'm gonna warn you about the scammers on there. So a little bit of story time. It was other scams too, but this was one that stuck out to me because, so she was like, oh, do you accept the payment via Zelle? And I'm like, yeah, I'll accept the payment via Zelle. And they were like, she was like, okay, I'm gonna send it to you. And right then and there, I kind of knew it was a scam, because no one's gonna send you, they want to see a video of the dog, they want to see, photos, more photos of the dog before they're just gonna send you money. So I gave her my Zelle email, and what she did was, she said she sent the money, and did I get an email confirmation from Zelle? I said, no, I did not receive the money, and no, I did not get an email confirmation from Zelle. And then she was like, oh, okay, well, can you screenshot your email inbox so that way I can make sure you didn't receive it? I know I'm not gonna screenshot my email inbox, but I'm like, okay, let me just go see what she's talking about. So I went to my email inbox and I saw someone attempting to log into my Facebook page, and it's like, forgot password, here's your code you can use. So if I would have screenshotted my inbox, the code is in the subject and you could have used that code to hack my Facebook page. People think that they're clever. So I was like, okay, ma'am, like, have a nice day, block, like, spam. I reported the account and everything. What really worked out for me is Instagram, from my family and friends reposting my post on their story. And also there is a option on Instagram where you can make your post an ad. So I spent $30 twice, so it's $60 total to market on Instagram, and it was worth it because I probably got over like 100 inquiries. But that just goes to show you that people, you know, are not always serious and they just want to play games. But anyway, I'll get onto that in a second. But I just made my own target audience. I made sure to market to people in the DMV area because that's where I was located, and to market to people who were interested in dogs. They were looking up dogs. It would just post the puppies on their story or like as an ad on their Instagram feed. So that was really good. I got a lot of hits off that, so I would recommend just spending a little bit of money on Instagram ads. The next thing that I did was Craigslist. I probably got about 20 inquiries on Craigslist total. Don't make the mistake I did and try to ask for like half the money up front. Only ask for like maybe like I changed it to $100. Only ask for like a little bit of money up front because people will be more comfortable to let that go, and they're like, okay, if I lose $100, which is still not a little bit of money, but it's less, you know, it's not as impactful as half the money up front. So don't ask for a huge deposit, and if they end up not giving you the rest of the money, you still get to hold the $100 and just sell it to someone else. So it really doesn't hurt you. So only 2 people were willing to put down a deposit beforehand because, sorry, but I'm not letting, I have people asking me to come to my house to see the puppies in person and all that stuff. I'm doing this from my home, and with COVID and all these other things that's out right now, I'm not letting people come to my home. I'll let you do a FaceTime video, like we can interact on FaceTime, but I'm not letting you come into my house. So even with the FaceTime option, people still were not comfortable with giving a deposit. So that didn't bother me too much because I knew once they were ready, my dogs were really, really pretty dogs. I knew once they were ready, people would more so want to purchase them. When they turn 8 weeks old, that is when they are ready to leave their mom and you are able to sell them. Another tip that I have for you, don't wait to the last minute to make their appointment to get their shots and deworming. I've learned it's very professional to provide those to your owners. And if say someone is willing to put down a deposit, you can just take that deposit and pay for the shots. So just go ahead and get your puppy shots and dewormed. It's a peace of mind for you to know that they were done and they were done on time. The owners appreciate that too because it shows that you actually care about the dogs and their health and well-being. I would suggest scheduling to get that appointment done at least when they're 4 weeks old. I would go back like a whole month before they're actually ready because a lot of vets are booked. I know my vets were booked, and luckily I had a spot open. By this time, their collars, they had like ripped them off, chewed them up and all this stuff. So I just knew them from their patterns and markings, but it would have been helpful to the vet if you had colored coding collars so they know who to put, because they do like a wellness exam to make sure that they're healthy, so they know where to put it. So I was kind of in there directing them, okay, this one is puppy number 1, this one is puppy number 2. We were able to do it like that. After this, the 2 owners who put down a deposit, I set up a time to meet them. Like I said, I didn't want people coming to my house, so I suggest, with all this robbing and stealing and scamming going on, because you know they could be afraid of getting scammed by me, but also you need to think about yourself too. You don't want to get scammed by people or put in a harmful situation. So what I did was I would meet at like a local PetSmart or Petco. I did let them give me the rest of the money in person. I also suggest bringing somebody with you. Luckily, I only scheduled it around the time when my husband can come with me. It makes you feel more comfortable. And what I noticed is most of the people who come to get the dog, they bring someone with them as well. It's just the day that we're in. Like, you know, just got to be careful. And it feels better when you have someone to come with you. I've been communicating with someone from Craigslist, and they were really interested, and luckily that worked out as well. They came and picked up the puppy. Then I only had 2 puppies left to sell. I'm gonna tell y'all, a lot of people will waste your time on this. Like, they'll ask you tons of questions, try to talk you down. For me, okay, I don't want to come off as saying like $600 is not a lot of money, but for a puppy and the market that we're in right now, to me, I feel like that is a good deal. Like, I wasn't charging a lot of money because this was my first time, and I felt like that was a fair price. So if you tell me that you can only pay half of the money, like you only have $300 to pay for the puppy, to me that makes me feel like, it kind of makes me feel like, okay, are you gonna have the money to take care of them? Are you gonna have the money to put up for their shots? Are you gonna have the money to feed them on a regular basis? Are you gonna have the money to groom them? You know, it makes me think like that, and it automatically turns me off. Like, I'm not gonna sell the puppy to you. And it's not just about the money. It's about the well-being of the puppy and making sure that they're going to going to a home where someone can take care of them. All the owners that I sold them to, you know, they didn't complain about the price. You know, I don't even know if this is stereotyping or whatever, but if you have guns on your page, if you're like, you know, saying all this violent stuff and you're posting all this violent stuff, I'm not going to sell you the puppy. I'm not even going to respond to you, because I don't want the puppies to be in that type of environment or that type of home. And you'll never know for sure, but look at the signs. Ask them, have you had puppies before? They're a lot of work, you know, so you want to make sure they've experienced these things before. I believe almost all the owners had puppies or dogs, or currently had dogs now, so they know what they're getting themselves into. Eventually, the last 2 people, one young man was from Instagram. He took the last male. The female was sold last to one of my family members. Her friend wanted it. Ask the owners to send you videos, pictures, updates of the puppy, because you want to know how they're doing. I know I do, and it also makes me feel a lot better knowing that they're happy, they're healthy, they're getting fed, they're in a good home, and just getting updates on them. That was one of the huge burdens that I had. You know, you get a profit from them, okay, that's cool, but I would feel so guilty if I knew that I was responsible for giving a puppy away to someone and then they neglect it and don't take care of it. Like, the money, I don't care how much they were willing to give me, no money is worth that. And I would feel terrible if I made that decision and put that puppy in the hands of someone who is not, you know, not fit to take care of animals. You know, I give much respect to all the, you know, breeders out there who sell puppies. It's not easy. It's a lot of cleaning, a lot of taking care of them. They're like little kids. So if you're looking to do this, please make sure that you have the time to do it. Make sure if you're at work all the time, I wouldn't suggest doing that, because someone needs to be home with the puppies, taking care of them, making sure that they're good. I appreciate the experience, I really do, but I don't know if I would do it again, and I don't think that I will. So yeah, that was my overall experience with the puppies and selling puppies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know of other videos you would like to see from me. Lastly, but most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so that way you'll be notified every time that I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.